46 million turkeys were eaten 1 week ago today on Thanksgiving. 22 million will be eaten at Christmas and 19 million on Easter. How many of you ate turkey this Thanksgiving? How many of you eat meat on a regular basis? Imagine cutting meat out of your life completely and eating zero meat with everything. I know that seems impossible, but it is attainable. I do it because I am vegetarian. Specifically, I am pescatarian, which means that I eat fish and seafood, but not pork, poultry, or beef. In case you're wondering, I ate a tofu roast for Thanksgiving. My mother became vegetarian 8 years ago after she watched the film Food Inc., which is a documentary that shows how meat gets from the farm to your table. I was not ready to make such a large commitment at that time, but a year later, I received an email from the ASPCA about how chickens are stuffed into small cages, and I'm not sure why that did it for me, but during the summer after my 6th grade, I became vegetarian, and I have been ever since. Eliminating or simply reducing your consumption of meat will help your health and the environment. Today, I'm going to ask you to consider vegetarianism, but at the very least, eat 1 meal per week that is meat-free. First, I will demonstrate that the consumption of meat poses a problem. Over the past few years, there has been a national decrease in eating meat. According to the National Public Radio, an average of 270.7 pounds of meat is eaten per person per year. We are second only to Luxembourg. The way animals are treated when they are slaughtered is grotesque, and I would like to share a story with you about how turkeys are killed from people for the ethical treatment of animals. Before ending up as holiday centerpieces, these gentle, intelligent birds spend 5 to 6 months on factory farms, where thousands of them are packed into dark sheds with no more than 3.5 square feet of space per bird. Turkeys are genetically bred to grow as fast as possible, and they often become crippled under their own weight. To keep the crowded birds from scratching and pecking each other to death, workers cut off portions of the bird's toes and upper beaks with hot blades. No pain relievers are used during any of these procedures. Turkeys won't have the opportunity to breathe fresh air or feel the sun on their backs until they're shoved onto trucks bound for slaughter. They are transported for hours without food and water, through all weather extremes, and many will die on this nightmarish journey. At the slaughterhouse, the survivors are hung upside down by their weak and crippled legs before their heads are dragged through an electrified stunning tank, which immobilizes but does not kill them. Many birds dodge the tank and are still completely conscious when their throats are slit. If the knife fails to properly cut the bird's throats, they are scalded alive in the tank of boiling water used for feather removal. As you can see, there is a desperate need to do something about this. Your health and the environment are begging you to reduce your meat consumption. The environment is impacted more by meat than by growing any other type of food. To make a quarter-pound hamburger, it takes 6.7 pounds of grain, 52.8 gallons of water, 74.5 square feet of land, and 1,036 British thermal units of fossil fuel energy. This doesn't even take into consideration animal waste and methane emissions. Eating meat also contributes to cardiovascular diseases. According to the American Heart Association, cardiovascular disease is the leading global cause of death, accounting for more than 17.3 million deaths per year. And this number is expected to grow to more than 23.6 million by the year 2030. It is also the #1 cause of death in the United States, killing 1 person every 84 seconds. These facts are astounding, but there is something that you can do about it. Consider reducing your meat consumption. This doesn't mean that I want you to cut out meat completely. No, that seems impossible, but there are ways to reduce your meat consumption. According to Harvard Women's Health Watch, these are the different types of vegetarians that they list. According to this list, I would be considered a partial vegetarian because I do eat fish. It can be challenging to maintain a vegetarian diet. According to Harvard, they say that eating cheese pizza, candy, and diet soda is technically vegetarian, and I'll admit that I've done this, but of course it's not healthy. It does take effort to maintain sufficient amounts of protein, vitamin B12, zinc, and iron, but it is possible if you're willing to put in the effort. Imagine if everyone made this effort. You can help yourself and the environment. If everyone stopped eating meat, no one would be hungry. We could feed the 97% of grain that we feed to animals to the 850 million people who don't have enough food. Animals would stop being killed for consumption, and the amount of antibiotics would decrease, because when animals live in filth, they breed new diseases that then need new antibiotics for people and animals. More land would also be available. A 10-acre farm can support 60 people by growing soybeans, 24 people by growing meat, or 10 people by growing maize, but only 2 with cattle. I know this sounds extreme, but if everyone ate vegetarian for just 1 day, we would save 100 billion gallons of water, 1.5 billion pounds of crops, and more. Going vegetarian also has drastic health benefits. In a large study involving more than 76,000 people, vegetarians were, on average, 25% less likely to die of heart disease, Fruits and vegetables in any diet reduce a person's risk of cancer, so vegetarians don't necessarily have it better there, but the elimination of red meat does decrease a person's risk for colon cancer. Research has also showed that diets with a lot of plants and vegetables reduce risk for type 2 diabetes. These results are possible, and you can contribute to even more change. We all know that we're not going to be able to stop eating meat, but every person counts. According to the Vegetarian Resource Group, there are currently 10.5 million adults who are vegetarian. Something my mom does at home are meatless Mondays, so maybe something you could do is focus one day of your week on eating your vegetarian meal. The COG has lots of choices. Agriculture is always vegetarian. 360 Degrees offers tofu. Mediterranean Coast often has meat-free pizza and pasta, and World's Fair sometimes has fish. I know this amount of information may be overwhelming, but what I want you to remember is that your small change can make a big difference. Eliminating meat from your diet can help your health and the environment. And I didn't even mention animal cruelty reasons or financial reasons. According to Alternate, if every American skipped one meal of chicken per week and substituted vegetarian foods instead, the carbon dioxide savings would be the same as taking more than 500,000 cars off of US roads. This is exactly what I'm asking you to do, and look at the impact that you could have. Thank you.